Juanes, welcome back to alt.Latino.
Hey, Felix, man. Good to see you. It's a pleasure to be here with you, man.
This is a great treat because, of course, you were with us on our very first show on June 15th, 2010. My co-host at the time, Jasmine Garza, interviewed you backstage from the World Cup in South
Yes,
Africa.
man. South Africa. I can't believe it, man. 10 years ago. That's crazy.
Lots of stuff has happened since then, man.
Oh, my God. Yeah, a lot of things, man.
So I think the first thing we want to ask you is to make sure that you and your family are safe, both here in the U.S. and then back in Colombia. Are you guys okay?
Yes, Felix, thank you so much for asking. My family is doing really well. My kids are here. I just went out of school like 2 days ago, online school, of course. And my mother, she's 90 years old. She's in Medellin. My sister and my brother are taking care of my mom. And everybody's doing really well now. So thank you so much for asking, man. I hope your family is doing well too.
Everybody's good here, man. Thank
Cool,
you.
man.
Thank
Cool.
you. You know, many people are seeing this worldwide tragedy also as a sign that something needs to change or something had to change. Some say Mother Nature, even the earth itself, is giving us all a message to reconsider how we have been living. Things like income inequality and problems with access to healthcare and food, especially here in the United States and around the world, has become more evident. And along those lines, I was watching a Zoom conversation with jazz musician Wayne Shorter, and one of the things he said is that the virus is a teacher. What is this pandemic teaching you, Juanes?
Yes, well, many things. I think right before the pandemic, even if I was about to do some changes in my life, I think this situation uh, just make things change very fast in general. I guess we were living in a very opulent world. And we were living so fast that we didn't have time for anything. Too much stress. I was about to do like a very big tour in the United States, like more in Canada, like more than 45 shows in a week, in a month and a half, things like that, like crazy, you know. And then from one day to the other, I find myself in my living room with my wife and my kids, like, I don't know, Monday, 11 a.m., just talking what is happening here, you know. Uh, Things that normally we never did before. Normally they were at school at that time. I was traveling maybe, you know. So from one day to the other, we would just get at home, uh, stuck here, and makes me think many things about life, about the world, about the consumism, about everything, man. About, you know, the way we treat our planet, the way we treat our animals and our plants and our trees and our uh, planet Earth in general.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's having a trip, you know, like trying to understand and reorganize priorities in my life. Definitely, yes.
Those broader subjects and the broader themes are things that you've talked about in your recordings in the past, and specifically um, the more recent projects. Is this also going to inspire you to look within, to when it comes to your songwriting, and ask yourself and ask us these deeper questions?
Yes, I guess so. As I said before, even before the pandemic, I was like trying like my last kind of experiment, for say something, with that type of music that I was doing, and now I am so clear about what I'm gonna do in the future, but also the lyrics, you know. I have been taking all this time even to do like online courses of, for example, poetry or singing or harmony for music. Um, and also, you know, what is having happening to me, my family, my friends, what I see on the news, is having changing the way I see life in general. And I think the values for me now are different, and priorities are different, and uh, it just make me feel look inside of me and ask again who I am and what's the reason why I'm here now. I don't know. It just changed completely for me, and I think it's gonna be on the music as well for the next years, definitely.
Along the lines of what the Latin Alternative Music Conference offers, the LAMC, which is why we're talking here at the LAMC this year. One of the things that has also happened is like this explosion of performances, the kind of performances that we've seen during the LAMC here, some intimate, acoustic, basically quarantine-based performances. You were part of something, you and Alejandro signed at the beginning, at the very beginning. Lots of musicians are expressing themselves. And I've asked listeners to send in songs that were helping them cope. And I'll do it again in the near future. It seems like now more than ever, the role of music in our lives has really come forward as not just entertainment, as something that our soul needs, that our very existence needs, just to help us deal with this. You know, has that realization made you think about your own music? I know you touched on that just a little bit now, but would you take that into consideration as you write music, knowing that more than ever, it really comes right to within us, our soul, our alma?
Yes, definitely. I think so. I'm having writing the last 3 months since all this craziness start, and I can see it like my new music, the lyrics, the things are saying, my feelings in general. Because now I don't know if I am worried, but I'm just concerned about everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you know, family, my kids, myself. But I just want to go deep in my thoughts and in my music in general, and also I want to keep experimenting with rhythms and different types of music. But something I don't see it myself singing like about having party on a disco. I don't know, but at the same time, sometimes I mean I go like from 0 to 100 in one day. Like sometimes I am so
Yeah.
depressed,
Yeah.
and then I go to the other side and I say no, I want to do something like, you know, like just make me feel happy. So
Mm-hmm.
I think you are, as a humans we have all those elements. We are sometimes very like superficialist, and sometimes we are very very deep. Sometimes we are depressed, sometimes we are happy, and I think music is it's a very good way to express all those feelings. So I'm just gonna try to just keep making music from my heart. And I do something that I remember from my school when I was at kindergarten. I remember that the teacher used to say like, okay, es clase de dibujo libre. I don't know how can I say that in English.
Like free drawing. Yeah.
Free
Say,
drawing.
say.
So I come to my studio and I say, okay, I don't want to do. I mean, I just want to do whatever it comes out of me, you know. And it's having like a very cool exercise, definitely is. But I still have, you know, ganas de. I just want to have a little bit of everything, you know. I go happy and enjoy life, and also just go deep and ask myself and ask anyone that can listen to the music something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because now is a moment for to to mirarnos a nosotros mismos.
Yeah. Look within.
To look within, yeah, because I
Say.
think we also are the virus. I mean, the way we are trying our animals, the way we are trying our planet is just insane. And it's just because we want more and more and more and more, and we don't stop. And I think this is the moment maybe just to, hey, we have to slow down a little bit and just realize what we are doing. I mean, why we need to spend like billions or thousands of dollars just making nuclear bombs and arsenal to, you know, to the military, but no spending time, money on science and, you know, other schools, you know, education, things that are really important for our humanity. So I don't know, man. It's crazy. I think this is a opportunity to grow up our consciousness in many different ways.
If we learn the right things from it, if the virus is your
Yeah,
teacher.
yeah. It's a teacher, because also we can have, it can take the best thing out of us, and also probably the bad things out of us too. because it put us on so much pressure and so much uncomfortable places. But that's good sometimes too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Outside of our comfort zones.
yeah.
Let's go back to just before all of this stuff started. Where were you? What were you planning? Did you have new recordings released? Were you going to go on tour? What was happening with Juanes before all this stuff started?
Yeah, right before, well, this year, I came to Miami from Colombia, like January, the first week, and I met in Miami with Sebastian Cris, who is a really good friend and producer from Argentina, and we started to work on a very cool project. Is a cover album that I always wanted to do this album. It was like one of my dreams that I wanted to do. So we started to work on that album. We finished that album actually, and we were going to release that maybe first songs like around this moment now. That came, and then came the coronavirus, so we stopped a little bit that, and we're gonna delay it for probably the end of the year. But it's a really cool album, all recorded live with musicians, and I did a cover of Carlos Gardel. I did a cover of Joaquin Sabina. I did a cover of Fito Páez. I did a cover of Diomedes Diaz, who is a vallenato, legend in Colombia. I did some other covers, like 11 or 12. One of Bruce Springsteen. I did another cover of what else? Cool artist from Colombia, Huasca Music, is very from the countryside. So it was really, really, really cool. I am very happy about it, but I need to wait a little bit more. And then I was in Colombia, right? It was March 13. We had a show. Supposed to have a show 14 in Bogota. It was sold out, and I was so excited about this show. And then everything was locked down, closed, everything. So I tried to find a plane go back to Miami, because my kids were at home, and my wife was also in Colombia. So it was a crazy moment. And from that moment till now, I'm here at home in Miami. So I'm working a lot in new music, and also this cover album. So I'm just making music every day.
I want to talk to you a little bit about that covers album, because I'm sure we're all waiting. I can't wait to hear it, honestly. It sounds like an exciting project.
I can't wait for you and everybody to listen to this album, and we are so happy about it.
And let's talk about some of those influences, because one thing that stands out to me let's say the last year, is when you were on the Latin Grammys, and you were awarded a humanitarian award. And Lars Ulrich from Metallica came out to give you the award, and you were genuinely knocked out, man. Tell us about your love of Metallica.
Oh my God, man! You have no idea what I was feeling at that time. I still, close my eyes and remember that night, that moment, and it's like, oh my God, thank you, God, thank you, because since I was 14 years old, first thing when I woke up in the morning, I had like this wall of my room, like full of posters, Metallica posters, of course, some of Slayer and Creator and the Beatles also, but Metallica was like all over the place, because I really love this guy so much. So I know Lars since I was a kid, even if he didn't know me, of course. When I saw this guy there, oh man, that was so crazy, because that special moment, when the Latin Academy gave me the award, it's like, wow, man, it's like everything get together, like, walk, and I feel so much alegría, happiness, and I feel thankful with everybody that made that happen, but especially music, because of the music, because of them, even if my music doesn't sound like Metallica, but they inspired me so much when I was 13, 14, that I wanted to be like them. And that was like what took me just to, okay, I want to make music for the rest of my life. And I still love them so much, so much. And actually, after the last year when I performed in Rock al Parque, it was a festival in Colombia. We connect with Metallica, because we did a Seek and Destroy cover in that show, and for any reason they saw that. So they invite me to record a a cover of them, of the Black Album. So I'm so excited about it. And that was going to, I don't know when it's going to be released, but they are going to release that album. It's going to be like a cover albums from many artists. So I can wait just to have that outside also.
And also talk a little bit about the Bruce Springsteen cover, because I know that you've worked with him, you've performed with him on a couple of times. And did he reach out to you, and how did that connection?
Yeah, I met him in South by Southwest. I had a privilege to see him in this QA he did. It was Q&A 7 years ago, maybe. It blew my mind, this guy, man. I mean, of course, his music first, you know. When I was a teenager, I remember back in the 80s, probably, you know, yeah, Dancing in the Dark and Born in USA. All those songs were very popular in Colombia. They were starting on the radio all the time. So I remember my sister and his boyfriend, you know, just listen to this music all the time. And then I went to see him in the Apollo for a Sirius XM show. Man, I was so like the energy this guy has. And my wife and me were there just so, you know, impresionados, you know.
Sí.
So I love him so much. I had opportunity to meet him once, and he was so nice, so nice. And that's when you see, oh man, this is good, you know, because sometimes you meet people and they are like a pain on the neck, you know. But this guy was so cool, so, you know, I don't know, it was something very, very special about him. So yes, man, I'm having, you know, privilege about being in contact with these people that I really love and respect, and they inspire me so much from different points, even if we don't know each other. But
Sure.
It's so incredible, you know. So I'm very thankful for that.
I've been a fan of Springsteen since '78 when I saw him in San Francisco at Winterland, and I've always seen a connection between the music that he's written and the stuff that he's done, and the style and his message. Not so much the style, but certainly the message, with some of the great, you know, trova writers from Latin America.
Yeah.
You know, and including the work that you've done, you know, drawing all of those same influences. There's a direct tie, man, and I think that people miss out on that. I don't think that people really understand what his music and his message is all about, and how much we have in common with that, with what he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm agree with that. Even, you know, I realized that when I was traveling through South America, for example, and I saw, like, for example, Bruce Springsteen in Europe, in Spain particularly, is like big, you know. But if you go to some places in Colombia or Argentina or something like that, it's not that big.
Mm-hmm.
And on Mexico, you know, it's like kind of, I think people is just getting into that probably recently, or I don't know. But I think he's so important, man. I mean, please, it's one of the pilares de rock, el rock actual y de la música actual. Y you have to look Bruce Springsteen anyways, you know. I mean, he's a god, and his performance, I really like his band. I really like the aesthetica, the look he has in his shows, and the energy he has. It's like, I want to have that energy, man. That's crazy, man. I really love him, in his voice and his lyrics. Too much.
If you ever get a chance to look for that audio, I just released it, that '78 audio from Winterland in San Francisco. That show was just really explodes.
And maybe one of the reasons what I thought, maybe I understand why, is because the lyrics are so important in the Bruce Springsteen music. And most of us in South America, we didn't speak English, or we don't speak English that much, so it's hard for us to connect with the message, you know. So maybe that's a reason.
Sure.
But definitely, I mean, he's one of the biggest. Oh my God, yeah, I love him so much. Yeah.
Well, speaking of looking back at a repertoire, you know, let's talk a little bit about again, LAMC. I think this is the 21st year for the LAMC. Alt.Latino celebrating our 10-year anniversary. It certainly has me looking back a little bit, especially as we come up on this anniversary date. In 30 seconds or less.
Mhm.
What kind of changes, I mean, overall, what kind of changes have you seen in Latin music in the last 10 years? I mean, what kind of big broad stroke trends? Because of course we could spend, a couple of hours or half a day discussing the changes in the last 10 years, but in big broad strokes, what kind of changes have you seen over the last 10 years in Latin music?
Yeah, I think laptop and technology and softwares and things like that came accessible for many people in different levels. And I think reggaeton and hip hop and this culture of just came so strong because it came like from La Calle, people on the streets start to listen to this, and reggaeton just came like when it just went up to the mainstream. Um, and and I think like real drummers or real musicians recording together, playing together, it's a little bit to the side. Uh, but I don't criticize that. It's just part of the way we live in this world, and the culture is going from one point to the other. Uh, but I think right now is on the mainstream is just about trap and reggaeton and hip hop. But I really love when I see like guys like Bad Bunny, for example. For me, he's a super artist, and I really find him very interesting in different ways. And also when I see Billie Eilish, I see, wow, man, this is like a Nirvana or something like that from the 80s, from the 90s. I mean, she's bringing something. But you see the music is so minimalist, so, like
Right.
just a little things. But that's style, and I like it too. My kids listen to this music all the time, so I'm familiar with this sound. But I also love the other side as well.
Yeah. Our kids keep us young. I have a 16-year-old and a 19-year-old, so they introduce me to all the new stuff as well.
yeah,
Keep me
yeah,
young.
yeah. I am all the time asking my kids, so who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? And so I'm okay, and then I go and check it out, and I find something really, really cool stuff, man.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff. And then I find at the same time other really cool bands like in 1975, and these guys that are making like rock pop music, very, 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 very good, well done. So I think it's everything for everybody, man. That's it.
Yeah, I've seen over the last 10 years how it just seems to be an explosion of creativity, and how these younger musicians, and I say younger because I'm always the oldest guy in the room, it seems like, but a lot of the younger musicians, they ignore genres and boundaries and
Yeah,
definitions,
and
like I don't care what it sounds like.
I really like that. I really like that. I talk with my kids, and I see that they listen to anything, and they don't care. They are just enjoying the music. The For example, the idea of the samples that are from the, I don't know, maybe probably in the 80s or something like that. But now you can go to splice.com and you can just download any sample you want, and you can just
Right.
make a new song based on samples from another songs, and you can just remake it that, and also you can make music in your iPhone, with GarageBand or in
Right.
your laptop. So it become easy to make music, good quality and cheap. So for example, when I work with the Sky, mostly these guys, Bull Nene from the reggaeton world, I was so impressed because at the beginning I said, well, I don't know how I'm going to fit that in that place with them. But then when I start to work with them, and I start to understand that the way they work is also very interesting, because there's one guy that make the lyrics, one guy that make the beat, one guy that make like they work in a team.
Mm-hmm.
And also that's the reason why they make many songs so fast. That's another way. That's
Yeah.
another way. So all these things, I guess, came to the mainstream and just take over the place. And also Spotify and everything just became like democratizado.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah.
easy for the people to have access to everything now.
Big change, man. It's a big
Yeah, man.
change.
But you know better than anybody, Felix, that everything in music and in culture is circles. So
Mm-hmm.
it goes back and around, goes and I see now, for example, like big acts like The Weeknd, for example, bringing even Post Malone, bringing that 80s sound back. That's cool as well, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe in 5 or 7 years, something else will come, you know. You never know.
That's the cool part, man.
That's the cool part.
We never know.
And also, I think if it's good music, it's cool. It's good, man. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duke Ellington said there are two kinds of music, good and bad.
Exactly, man. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Okay, I want to read this because I want to make sure I get this in. Finally, I want to thank you for this interview for LAMC. On behalf of the LAMC, I want to thank you for taking the time to do this interview and helping support and keep that Latin music community together. Even if we're virtual, it helps us stay together and helps us stay connected. I want to thank you. And I also want to thank you for supporting, alt.Latino from the very beginning, because not only did you take time for our very first musician interview 10 years ago, but you also shared your time with 2 Tiny Desk concerts. The first one was in November of 2011, and the second one was that fabulous performance with Mon Laferte in May of 2018.
Yes.
That already has over
guys.
That already has over 4 million YouTube channel views.
Oh my God, that's really good. I love that. I love that show, man. It's so original and so cool.
That was a good performance, man.
Yeah.
Your generosity to us reflects something that has been consistent throughout your entire career. You've always supported up and coming musicians, writers, and producers. You've used your status within the music industry to increase opportunities for artists from all over the world. And to wind this up, I want to thank you for all of that.
Oh, thank you, Felix, man. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate your words, man. Thank you.
Thank you from me and from all of your fans that are watching here on the LAMC.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.